Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a reading wrap up of all the books I read in February. I had a busy month. So my goal for the month of February was to get through like all the romance series on my shelf, and I was really aiming for just like basic romance, like contemporary romance, not romantasy. Like I was really just aiming for romance. I would say maybe 2 or 3 of the books from February I kind of went off of the path of like solely romance, so I apologize, but as a whole I did pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and let's get into what I thought of the books I read this month. I hope you guys love this like Valentine's-y pink vibe because I did it just for y'all. All right, to begin, we have Scarred, which is the second book in the Never After series. If you're unfamiliar with the series, this is retellings, but like legally you can't say that, of Disney stories. So basically this story is about Tristan, i.e. Scar. I'm just gonna reference the Disney version so y'all can kind of get a feel for it. Scar, who is trying to start his rebellion to take down Mufasa. And basically he is very, very interested in Mufasa's betrothed, and her name is Sarah, and her goal from her family is to kill all of this bloodline, so Mufasa, Tristan, and everyone else in their family. That is what she is set to do. So she is marrying Mufasa to seek revenge out for her family. And then of course some things happen, and maybe that doesn't necessarily happen because maybe people fall in love. I can't say, but I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. I actually really enjoy this series. I've read Hooked, and so I've read this one, so I've only read 2 of the series, but as of right now, Emily, love you. And I think it's really fun to like get the references. Like there was a Long Live the King, and like Timon and Pumbaa, and Rafiki, and the bird. What is the bird's name? The bird, I'm forgetting his name. Like everyone's in here but in their own version, so it's so fun to kind of like see the references as somebody who, you know, grew up watching the movies. But 4 out of 5 stars, super fun. I love this series and can't wait to read more. Next book actually came in the mail today because I was waiting for the paperback because this way. As you can see, I have all the paperbacks. Funny Story by Emily Henry. 5 out of 5 stars. I feel like I really enjoyed this book just because the main character and I are very similar. You know how like sometimes you enjoy a book more and you enjoy fiction more if you can relate to it, if it's less fictional? That's what I had with this book. Let me give y'all a little rundown on this book because it truly is a funny story. So Daphne is engaged to this man named Peter. One night he comes home from his bachelor party, which had all his guy friends and then his girl best friend, whose name is Petra. She was also invited because, you know, girl best friend, whatever. Petra decides on the night of his bachelor party to confess to him that he is the love of her life. And what does he do? Decides that she's the love of his life too. So on the night of his bachelor party, he comes home and tells Daphne that they are over. Daphne is like, what am I gonna do? And Miles, Petra's boyfriend, shows up to their door looking for Petra, and Daphne's like, hey, how big is your apartment? So the exes move in together, and this is their love story. I enjoy both of the main characters. I think it was just like a silly story overall, you know, the whole like exes falling in love. But yeah, I thought this was a good romance. I thought that like the comedy in it was also really fun. Man is wearing Crocs. That's hilarious on its own. I'm not crapping on the Croc people. I have Crocs of my own, okay? Anyway, 5 out of 5 stars. I thought this was really good. There was a specific chapter that was really like heart-wrenching for me about her never being good enough and her dad always leaving, and like it was rough, but 5 out of 5 stars. Such a good story. Emily Henry can't write a bad book. Next book we have is Her Soul to Take by Harley Laroux. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This book is very the chilling adventures of Sabrina vibes, and I can't really explain that unless you've seen the show and read this book. Like the whole small town, supernatural, like the mines and a god being under the mines is very Sabrina, if you know the season I'm talking about. I don't know, but anyways, I really enjoyed this book. Our main character in this, or main characters in this, are Leon and Ray. And Leon is this demon thing on the front cover, and basically he is just like the killer. Like that is what he does in his free time as a demon, as you do. Anyway, he is kind of like enslaved to this big family in this small town in Washington. Rip. He is tasked to kill these specific people for a ritual to bring this old god back, and one of the people is Ray. Y'all know the rest is history, right? So this is like a romance, dark romance, but also a supernaturally adventure story. So this is one of the books that I was mentioning that isn't a romance focused, but it does have romance, but it's not just like contemporary romance, obviously. But the story was super fun. I give it 4 out of 5 stars strictly because the ending was super I don't know, I put on my Goodreads anticlimactic, but now I think that might have been a wrong word. It was rushed from the perspective, but I understand because there are 2 other books in the series and it's from other people's perspective. I'm assuming at the same time period and or shortly after of their perspective. So obviously if this was more drawn out and like more climatic, I feel like those stories couldn't necessarily exist. Nothing wrong with like the author and the route they chose, but just like to me, I was like, oh, that was quick. But yeah, I really enjoyed the supernatural and the spice was fun and the whole dynamic of these two, like a demon and a girl. This was my first experience with that, I think. I have some on my shelf, but I think this was the official first. And I saw the hardcover edition of this. And if you turn the hardcover dust jacket inside out, I need immediately. Next, we have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. So this is arranged marriage. Dante Russo is this rich billionaire man, and the woman's name is Vivian Lau, I think is how you pronounce her last name. And Vivian Lau's parents are new money, so they're not this like generational wealth. And so they decide, hey, we are going to arrange a marriage for you from somebody who does have generational wealth and is very well known and a billionaire, Dante Russo. Dante Russo, he has his own plot and own reasons for why he is a part of this marriage, but nobody knows except for him and Vivian's dad, obviously, because he told Dante, you have to get this marriage or else. Read the book for the or else. So yeah, this is their story of like, I hate you, I don't want to be with you, and then we fall in love. Y'all know how forced marriage works. Anyways, 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. I don't think I have much to say. Do I? No. Thumbs up. Next, we have Flawless by Elsie Silver. We're kind of matchy. So this was my first Elsie Silver experience. I know y'all love the Queen Elsie Silver. And I've, once again, like most of these books, had this on my shelf for some time. I give this 3 out of 5 stars. Now, that wasn't due to her writing. I would definitely read more of her books. I just don't necessarily think the specific plot of this book and the tropes were something that I would normally gravitate towards. And I'll explain that momentarily. Let me tell y'all what it's about. So this is about Rhett Eaton, who is a bull rider. He makes a stupid comment about a milk company who sponsors him, and he loses his sponsor, and then he like punches a guy in the face. And so the people in charge of him and, you know, his his publicity and whatnot assigned him basically a babysitter, and that is Summer, who is just making sure that he, when he goes out, that he's putting on a good show, that he's a good person, he's not doing anything stupid, he's not sleeping around, like he's fully committed to his work. So forced proximity. I don't really like you, but we have to hang out with each other 24/7. Anyways, I thought the writing in this was fun. I thought the spice was good. The bull riding and the whole like forced proximity and the whole, he was kind of mean. Like, I'm an enemies to lover girl, but I don't like mean. I definitely think this was good. And like I said, I would definitely read more of her books. And I think the rest in this series, this specific series, the Chestnut Spring series, will be more up my alley. I just don't think these 2 specific characters were definitely my thing. Next, we have the second of the 3 books that I kind of got off track of the romance. 5 out of 5 stars. Can I say this? I try to keep it pretty PG in my book videos, so sorry in advance. This is called the Mindfck series by St. Abbey. This is a pen name. This isn't their real name, so it spells stabby. So this is the whole collection of books 1 through 5, so it's all of them. 5 out of 5 stars. Check your trigger warnings. Check your trigger warnings. Check your trigger warnings. So this book is about a girl named Lana Myers, and she's a serial killer, and she happens to bump into the FBI agent, Logan Bennett, who is on her case. She bumps into the man who is assigned on her case to figure out who the serial killer is. Mind you, this book they have a few scenes in it of spice. They're nothing crazy. They're nothing like, you know, actual romance books, and there's a few of them. I would say under 5 though in all the books. So yeah, I kind of missed the mark on the whole romance. I thought this was definitely more romancy, but like overall there's a romance theme between the 2, of course, but it's not like romance. But this book was crazy. I'm a Lana Myers apologist. I mean, like, you read it and you kind of have to be, right? So basically she's a serial killer and she's killing specific people who did horrendous things to her and her family. How can you be mad? According to my Goodreads, I read this in a week. 5 books, because this is all them connected. 700 pages. That's about 100 pages a day. I was picking them up and I was putting them down. Proceed with caution is all I can say. But oh my god, I literally like finished this and was like, I don't think I'll ever find a high like this. Next, we have Lost and Lassoed by Lyla Sage. This is the 3rd book in the, what's it called? I'll probably ask you guys. A Rebel Blue Ranch novel. So this is the 3rd book. I think there's gonna be 4. Or at least there's a 4th one coming out in April. But this is the 3rd one. This is about Teddy and Gus. Gus is one of the main family members who owns Rebel Blue Ranch. Teddy is the sister, his sister's best friend. They have a kind of Josh and Jules from Twisted Hate, if you've read that situation, where they hate each other. That's my sister's best friend. She's a bad influence. It's very similar to Josh and Jules. She needs a job. His co-parent is gone for the summer and he needs help with his daughter. So she kind of becomes a babysitter and has to live at his house. Does this sound like a book I read earlier this year? Weird. Anyways, oh, it sounds like Flawless kind of, huh? So she's forced to live at his house and take care of his daughter, so kind of forced proximity. But yeah, this is their love story. I gave this 4 to 5 stars. It was almost on par with the first book. I really enjoyed the first book. This was really close. I thought the banter between these two and their specific tropes were also really good. So if you're into, you know, single dad type vibe, here you go. Bada bing, bada bang. You guys can't see this stack, but I'm putting all the books that I'm done talking about there. She's a little tall. Next we have Phantasma. So this is the final book that I kind of went off the romance with, but like still romance themes. I give this 4 to 5 stars. This is fun. So Phantasma is kind of Caraval mixed with Danny Phantom mixed with gothic dark ghosts. This is about Ophelia, who is a necromancer, and she gets entered into these games, the Phantasma games, because her stupid sister enters and doesn't tell her, and she's like, well, I gotta go save my sister, right? Very Caraval. You have to stay alive throughout these games. You meet the main male love interest, Blackwell. There's also a kitty named Poe. It's a white kitty named Poe. Is that the cutest thing you've ever heard of? Anyways, so yeah, she kind of just has to survive these levels and all that and try to find her sister. Each level is a level of hell, which is really cool. So limbo, lust, greed, treachery, blah 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 blah. So that's kind of fun. I like that. And so yeah, but one goal is you can't fall in love or else you get a curse put on you. So that's kind of scary. The ending, so rushed. I literally was like, oh my god. Like I was like, and I got to the ending and I was like you're gonna throw in a astronomical plot twist, and then 2 chapters later you get the epilogue. So that was kind of upsetting. This would have been 5 out of 5 stars if that was a little pulled out. I have some questions too, like I don't know. Next book we have is Leather and Lark, which I do not have a physical copy for because I'm waiting for the special editions to come out, so I did listen to it. And this is the 2nd book to the Butcher and Blackbird. It is about Rowan Kane's brother Lachlan Kane, and it is about Salone's best friend Lark Montague. I gave this 4 to 5 stars. This book is about these two having to do another forced marriage. So that's kind of a thing here, like forced marriage, forced proximity this month. For both of their interests, which you will find out when you read the book, they have to get married. They don't like each other. They had a bad experience on Halloween. He had to come save her because she killed somebody, and he thought she was just like a spoiled brat who accidentally killed someone and was just like, oh, daddy's gonna fix it. When in reality, like she meant to do that. So he kind of like had a wrong impression of her. And so he wasn't her biggest fan. This is their love story. So once again, forced proximity, arranged marriage, she'd off bad people like Lana Myers from Mindfck. That feels weird to be saying in my book videos. And this also continues the Phantom. If you read the first book, it continues him and his goals, whose name is Abe. And so that's kind of fun because he's trying to get revenge for his brother Harvey, who Sloane and Rowan killed in the first book. So my review, I gave this 4 to 5 stars. To me, not as good as the first. I did love the 2 main characters, but I didn't know if the plot was as captivating as the first book, which had me hooked. I love the bonus chapter though. I just outed myself. If you guys see this part, I decided to be honest. Anyways, yeah, I think the first book was more like the whole serial killer aspect was more focused. Versus this book, it wasn't as much. It was just like, oh, I do this as a hobby. We only have 2 books left. Hold on, y'all. Next book we have is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. 4 out of 5 stars. Would have been 5 out of 5 stars. I could go on forever about this. Let me tell you what it's about, and then I'll go on forever about it. So this book is kind of like Gossip Girl meets like high London society. Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne. His name is BJ. That is so stupid. I love it. They're like London socialites, bougie. I've got all this money. Y'all are poor, blah, 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 blah. They were dating from like 15 to 22 or something. 15 to 21, something like that. They broke up. You'll find out why when you read the book. And now they do this like weird, like she dates guys to get him jealous. He sleeps with women to get her very toxic. Their whole thing is like they are written in the stars. Like this little part says Magnolia and BJ are written in the stars, just suspended in a strange kind of love that looks like hurting each other a lot of the time. This book is very toxic. Read it in a day. So here's what I wrote about this on Goodreads. I'm unwell. I couldn't put this toxic hurricane of a book down. I fear the two main characters don't deserve my 5 stars, or else it totally would have been a 5-star. I normally get mad when people are being like obnoxiously stupid and continue to make the same mistakes in books. I'm like, can you learn? It makes me like turned off to read the book. I don't know why this didn't. The ending of this was insane. Go follow my Goodreads. It should be in the description below. I'm excited to read the rest of the series, and I don't have any interest in the Daisy Hates books, which is part of the series, but I know a lot of people say the way she is in this book, you find out why in her book, so you like her more because you understand what she was going through. So I'm gonna hold y'all to it, because right now I'm like, I just want to read Magnolia's books. But yeah, I ordered all the UK editions of these after the like literal like 10 minutes after I finished this book. I was like, why are there feet on the cover? And then I ordered all the UK versions. Anyway, this would have gotten 5 stars if they did not continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And finally, our classic for the month. If you're unfamiliar, I try to read a classic from this specific collection once a month. You can kind of see them scattered throughout my shelves, and it also gives me, you know, encouragement to read classic books. So of course, who other than Mr. William Shakespeare do we read for the month of February? This is the Sonnets, so all of his sonnets, and then A Lover's Complaint. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This man is the OG romantic. He's something. He's something, all right. But yeah, nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. For the month of March, I tried to like kind of tell you guys my reading plans for the upcoming month so you can know what to expect for the next video. I'm planning on finishing up any active series I have going on. Wrap up like 4 different series, and then you see that romanticy sign? Whoop, whoop, there it is. See all those shatter me's? They're gonna be done by the end of March. You watch me. You watch me. That is my goal. I miss Aaron Warner so much. So for the month of March, expect a bunch of last books in series, and then just the entire Shatter Me series. Anyway, you all, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, everyone.